QPark is a parking system that we'd like to implement for the University of Missouri. It consists of both a web app for the users, which would be everyone of Mizzou, including faculty and students, as well as an Android app for the MU parking authorities. So to go over what the actual web app does, I will demo it really quick. So basically, after a user has signed up on our webpage, they can log in. This is our homepage. From here, they can access many features of our app. They can learn about our QR system, which is how basically every user is assigned a QR code that is linked to their account. They can view a description about the app. They can view reviews, as well as the most important feature is paying for parking online. So if they go to the pay for parking page, they'll be able to select a garage they would like to park at. They can select the duration for which they would like to park. So if I wanted to park for, say, 4 hours and 30 minutes, then I can give a brief summary of the garage I just chose, the duration that I would like to park, as well as the price that I'm paying for parking. And if I were to click pay for parking, it'll process. If payment was successful, it'll redirect me back to the home page. From there, I can access many other features, such as viewing my account information. Here I can view all my information about my account, as well as my vehicle information, update any of it if necessary, and view any pending tickets they may have issued to me. And now I will pass it off to Ricky, who will tell you about some of the technologies that we use to accomplish this.
Hi, my name is Ricky, and I worked on the little bit of the backend functions as well as setting up the database. As far as the web technologies for the website goes, we have Ajax, jQuery, Gummies for the front end, and PHP for the back end, as well as MySQL for the database. A little bit about the project architect. We have our server that houses our database, our cron jobs, as well as our backend/API. So our database holds all of our data, such as your user information, your vehicle information, your park instance, and your ticket information, if need be. And then the cron jobs. These are single PHP files that live on the server that are set to trigger every single minute. And one of our more important cron jobs will set your park validity from true and set it to false. Because when you initially go to the website and pay for a park instance, it's set to default for true. And then we need something to actually, some kind of logic to switch it back to false for the Android app to come by and give you a ticket if need be as well. And that's what that cron job does. And then our backend/API, it lives on the server in a centralized location that supports both our website as well as our Android app. We wanted to keep that in a centralized location to, for ease of maintenance kind of thing. That's a little bit about the project architect. Here's an illustration of the QR code and where it needs to be placed on your car. With the Android app, we will demonstrate what kind of data actually is pulled from that QR code. It's based upon what you registered with initially with the website. And this is Dylan to talk a little bit about the functionality of the admin control panel.
Thank you. My name's Dylan. I worked on the back end of the website as well as a lot of the admin functions. I'm just going to give you guys a brief demonstration of the admin homepage here. Just a sec, let me get to Safari. All right, and an admin logs in the same way as any user would. They just go straight from the index page right here. I'm going to log in with an admin that's already been set up for me. It's just Dylan admin. All right, and I'll log in here. And here's the admin homepage. It's pretty simple. It just shows all the tickets that are currently flagged in the system. What a flagged ticket is if an employee makes a mistake on a ticket, they have the ability to flag it, and it'll make it easier for the admin to go back and make changes to it or delete it if it was a mistake. And here you can edit it, or you can delete it, or you can just mark it as unflagged if it doesn't need to be flagged. There's two main pages for the admin, the view ticket and view accounts. The view tickets just lists all the tickets in the system. It lists their price, date, time, violation, who wrote it, who received it, and whether or not it's active or paid. You can make changes here, and you can see that the flagged tickets are marked in red. And you can also make changes or delete them. And the view accounts is pretty similar. It just shows all the users, employees, and admins in alphabetical order for their email addresses, as well as their first, last name, and their permission, and whether or not it's an active account. And over here, you can edit it or deactivate it if you want to deactivate or reactivate the account. And I'm just going to show you a brief example of creating an employee that Georgie is going to use later to log into and do a demonstration of the app. I'll just make the login demo, and you have to confirm it, and I'll also make the password demo. And might as well make the first and last name demo as well. And you can see here, you can make it either an employee or an admin. I want to make an employee this time, and go ahead and submit it. And it says it's successfully added. And you can see that it's been added in the database and its activity is set to true. And now Rob's going to tell you guys a little bit more about the Android app.
Hello, my name is Rob King. I worked on the front end of our Android app. For the parking authorities, we've created an app that is designed to increase productivity for each employee. As you can see, the current technology features a small keyboard, a cluttered UI, and they have to manually input data by hand. Our app is designed to be clear, easy to use, and automate as much of the ticketing process as possible. To build our Android app, we decided to use Android Studio, which is rapidly becoming the industry standard for Android development. We've decided to support Android 4.0, also known as Ice Cream Sandwich, and up, to take advantage of some of the more modern Android frameworks. And now, to give a brief demonstration of our app, Georgi Angelov.
Hello everyone, my name is Georgi Angelov, and thank you all for the introduction. Rob and I worked on the Android application, and I worked mostly on the back end and the communication with our database and our server. And we really feel like what we did, the project that we went after, is an important part of at least the MU parking system, because we feel it caters to both the user and the actual parking authorities that are doing their day-to-day job and scanning cars. So not to keep you guys waiting, I'm going to give you a quick demo of the app. If it loads, there we go. Can you see the screen? Oh, there we go, okay. All right, so this is screen, all right. So the first screen that you're gonna see is our login screen. Test 11 was the username I used before. The app remembers whatever account was used beforehand, so it expedites the login of the employee because we wanna make it as efficient as possible. So I'm gonna log in with the account that Dylan made for me, which is demo. And I'm gonna input password demo. Go to login, and this is the first page you will see. We bring the employee to the most important page right away. The whole idea behind the system is to make their current system more efficient, more effective, and decrease the amount of time it takes to scan a car and issue a ticket for that matter. The first thing I would like to point out is the top right corner. From right over here, you can select your garage that you're currently at. And this is an important feature because we also check validity of the parking. For instance, if you've paid for Turner Avenue and you are in Hit Street garage. So we want to make sure that what you've paid for is the correct garage. So if I select Hit Street, every single scan the employee does is automatically referenced against the actual garage, as well as the time, of course. So I have a QR code right here. It was actually emailed to me when I created my account. So I'm going to do a quick scan, and you can see how quickly it is. All you do is just scan it, and no payment provided. So it automatically notifies the employee that it's an invalid parking, and it shows you right here up at the top with the red what kind of violation it is. So let's say the employee wants to issue a ticket. All they have to do is just press the issue ticket button right here, and all the information about the vehicle is automatically pre-filled, which means that we've just decreased the amount of time it takes to issue a ticket by inputting all of this information already into the app. So let's say I would like to issue a ticket. I'm gonna write a little note, so bad person, pay for parking. There we go. And I'm gonna submit a ticket, and the ticket was submitted. So if I wanna go check how many tickets I have, boom, I have it right here. So the ticket shows, and I'm going to click on a ticket, and I just swipe from left to right, which brings a drawer with all my tickets, and it even says ticket history. So I'm going to click a ticket, and all the information is, again, already inputted into the app. So let's say you made a mistake, and you want to flag the ticket so the admin can later on go and review the ticket and maybe contact you and ask what was the reason for the ticket, and why did you flag it. So all we have to do is just click the flag ticket button, and the ticket has been flagged. So now we have, and we decided not to allow the user, the employee, to actually cancel a ticket directly from the app, because we believe that it's up to the admin to decide what ticket should be canceled and what not. So we wanted to provide a system to at least inform the admin that there was an error. And that is pretty much our app, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and we really, really believe that it's a pretty important part of the ME parking system, and it makes it efficient for both the user and the actual parking authorities to do their job, and for us to pay for parking much more easily. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Questions, Brian?
Yeah, I love the idea. I have questions about implementation, though. How does the person that monitors the garages know whether you have a valid QR code or not? Do you have to print it out before you leave home and leave it on your dash, or how's that work?
So once the user registers an account with us, we send them a QR code. The parking authorities people, and this is just an assumption we've made, just because there's so much more that have to be done in order for this to be fully implemented. But we assume that the employee will scan a valid QR code. And this is just an assumption that we came up with, that if they do scan a QR code, they assume that the QR code is in our system. And if not, then they will still have to revert to their previous ways of issuing tickets.
Yeah, but the QR code has to be affixed to the windshield or something so that they can scan it?
Yes.
Georgie, I can take over. So yes, each QR code has a unique user ID that's encrypted. So if anyone were to just go along and scan the QR code, all they would get back is almost garbage. So we wanted to protect the user and not be able to have people counterfeit the code, as well as so once there's a little bit of overhead currently, because we don't know if they're going to accept our idea. And if they do, it's up to them whether they want to have you go get the QR code from them, like you currently go get a parking pass, or if you just want to have an automated service like we currently have that would email you your QR code and you could print it out yourself and just put it on your dash.
Brandon, have you all had a chance to do any user testing yet to see whether the people who would pay for parking that way or the employees who would be going around and using this instead of the old system like it?
Yeah, we've had some communication with the parking authorities over at the MU parking office, and they were really excited about the idea. They were really open to a bunch of new technologies. We talked to an actual employee, and we actually asked them what they would like to see from our app. And that was one of the things they complained about having to manually enter all the fields. It's kind of time consuming, especially if you make a mistake like that. You have to go back and correct everything, whereas our system, you just scan and it automates almost the entire process for you.
Yeah, I was just wondering, if you lay it on the dash, will the cell phone camera actually read it that far away, or does it need to be up in the windshield?
It actually has a very good camera, as far as scanning goes. The API detects very obscure, so even if it's dirty or it'll detect, as long as the four corners it can detect those, it will pull back. So you can potentially have it sitting on your dash and it will be fine. You don't actually have to actually affix it to your windshield.
Jeff, do you have a question?
That was my question.
Oh, okay. One more? Yep, Roman?
Why QR codes?
We went with QR codes because it's. I think it's more more difficult to counterfeit, because there's lots of different technologies for creating QR codes, and there's even APIs online where Mizzou could potentially. This is just a simple QR code, but Mizzou, there's actually ones where Mizzou can actually put their logo inside the QR code, and it can be more official. So it'd be even harder to counterfeit, and they may have a hologram or something in it. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask an additional question to that. I ask that because have you considered maybe, I know it's a more complicated technology, but what about a picture recognition system where you would just take a picture of the plate?
We considered that actually for our project. We just didn't think that because of the time constraint of our project, we having to develop this in such a limited time constraint that we didn't feel that we were adequate to be able to implement that at this time. But at something in the future that we may implement where they can just scan a license plate and it would just pull all their information off of a license plate. And that would take away from the overhead of having to print out a QR code.
Thanks, Brandon, and thanks to team.